I gotta say, after the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, I wasn't sure that they'd be able to pull off Update 2.0, and I gotta say, I think they did it. While I've always found the Cyberpunk narrative very compelling and interesting, I always felt that the gameplay left something to be desired. A lot of small things that needed to be touched on weren't, and after Update 2.0, I'm thoroughly loving it. I've been enjoying doing the car chases and shooting at my enemies from my car. I really like the revamped perk system. It feels much more put together and in a way that I feel like I'm progressing, whereas before it just kind of felt scattered and I never really knew what I wanted to do next. This time around, I'm playing a run and gun, shotguns, guns blazing, beating everybody up with a pipe kinda playthrough, and I'm having a blast. I really enjoy the progression that's going on here. The enemies certainly feel tougher. I don't feel like I'm either walking straight through them or dying right away. I feel like I'm more often than not kind of sitting in this middle ground where I can outmaneuver them and outplay them, or just get destroyed because I make too many mistakes. I also don't feel like if I make one mistake, I'm just ruined, which is something that I ran into in the previous version. So that's super exciting that I'm actually enjoying the gunplay. That was my biggest gripe with the game when it came out, which is why I downloaded the Cyberpunk Thing mod pack to make up for that. With a massive change to the way armor works so that I'm no longer forced to wear this ugly clothing, I can actually just put on stuff that makes me feel stylish and cool while also improving upon my armor via Cyberware now, which is so much better and makes so much more sense. That has got me very excited. I'm really enjoying using the Cyberware to build out my character while also simultaneously improving my armor. And of course, the Ripper dock has been enhanced a little bit. I think they could have done a little bit more here, but all in all, I think it's just a step forward, and I enjoy the new mechanic where you actually get worked on a little bit, you wake up after the fact, and you can kind of see some of the enhancements on your body itself, which is super cool. I love that. I'm also really enjoying the police mechanisms in the game now. I just love running around shooting the police and then being chased down by them. I'm not quite at the point where I feel comfortable going all the way up to 5 stars and trying out the mini-boss, so I can't speak for that. However, I am having fun with it. I also noticed they revamped some of the mini-bosses, just generally speaking, in the game, and I have so much more fun with them. They either have some sort of new mechanics, or they're just tankier in a way that doesn't feel like they're a bullet sponge. Definitely a W in my opinion. Also, they did a great job reworking the cars. I absolutely hated driving in the game before. I felt like I was just drifting 95% of the time, regardless of which car I was in. Now, cars feel much more varied. Some cars drift way too much. Some cars don't drift all that much and they're much easier to control. Some are much slower, some are much faster. There's a lot of variance in the game now, and I really enjoy trying out the different cars and motorcycles. It feels much more fluid, and I can actually enjoy the driving portion without slamming into every car I'm near. I did run into a pretty annoying bug fairly early on where I actually could not use any of my perks. So for the first 6 to 8 hours, I just ran around struggling because I couldn't use any perks whatsoever. I did reach out to the support team, and what they had me do is just delete my game, do a fresh install, and that actually resolved the problem. So from then on, I've actually been just playing the game as intended. I've noticed a few minor bugs where things are hiccuping and stuff, but in my opinion, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So if you're kind of skeptical about whether or not this is going to land and improve the experience thoroughly, that's been my experience. I've had a much better time playing it. The gameplay was, again, the weakest component in my opinion, and it's thoroughly been improved upon, and it helps me stay connected in the world and immersed in all that the game has to offer. I would have liked to have seen some small things, such as being able to walk into a number of more of the shops, specifically the ones that say open, and then you walk to the door and you can't. That's still not a thing, unfortunately. I know that that's a very small thing, but for me, it helps me stay immersed. Also, a lot of the stands where you should be able to buy food or buy junk, you're not able to interact with, and so they're kind of lifeless. I would have liked to have seen those touched on, but again, I get it. There's so many of them in the game. It'd kind of be so much work to invest into something that a very small portion of people would actually interact with. I can say that my experience has been fairly stable, and with Phantom Liberty dropping today, I will be spending quite a bit of time on Phantom Liberty and be giving my opinions of that as well. I just wanted to very quickly dive in, give you my opinion of my experience with 2.0 and my thoughts. Have you already taken the plunge into 2.0? If so, what are your thoughts? What did they do right and what could they have done differently? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, consider subscribing, and stay safe, chooms.